The Elders and Leaders Forum in River State have criticized the peace pact brokered by President Bola Tinubu between Governor Siminalayi Fubara and FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, saying the directive contravenes the Constitution of Nigeria and separation of powers. The leader of the forum and former governor of River State, Rufus Ada George, supported by other members of the group, stated this in a communique read at the end of their emergency meeting in Port Harcourt on Tuesday night. Though Ada George commended President Tinubu for intervening, he says members of the forum are at a loss if Mr. President's intervention has solved or further worsened the situation. He called on all Rivers people of goodwill to rise up and defend their state for the sake of posterity and generations yet unborn.
By virtue of an attempt to reverse a court order recognizing the Honorable Edison Ehe as the Speaker and directing that the remainder of members of the House of Assembly constituted the forum for legislative business. That the directives also contravenes the hallowed doctrine and practice of separation of powers, particularly as it affects the responsibility of the judiciary. Can Mr. President, on the executive arm of government, overrule the decisions of courts of competent jurisdiction? This portends executive rascality, which undermines our constitutional democracy, rule of law, and good governance.
Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party insists that former Rivers Governor and current FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and others who worked against the party in the general elections will receive the big stick at the right time. Horizon correspondent Mary Chinda has more.
It's an emergency media parley of the National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party, coming barely 24 hours after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the APC led another round of reconciliation between the River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara and FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. The PDP acting national chairman says Wike and others who clearly worked for the APC in the last presidential polls will be sanctioned in due time.
I'm mindful of the fact that not only Wike, there are other people that also have worked against this party. When we get to that level, we'll sanction everybody. So if Wike today believe is above this party, we will be able to show him that he's not above the party. One thing I'm cautious about is that there was never a time there is not a member of this party. And the same other members of this party that believe that someone is wrong are also doing wrong to the party. So if today we say we are going to take our this thing and cut a sizable part of the party.
The party insists that the 25 River State lawmakers remain sacked following their defection and their seats will remain vacant.
Our party insists that having now vacated and lost their seats, the only option available for the former lawmakers, if they wish to return to the House of Assembly, is to seek fresh nomination and re-election on the platform of any political party of their choice in line with the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended and the Electoral Act 2022. There is no division in the PDP at the national or any other level for that matter to justify the defection of the 25 former members of the River State House of Assembly from the party.
With reactions trailing the political agreement and uncertainties still hanging around the survival of the PDP in Rivers State, the party's National Working Committee says it will not keep mum until INEC conducts fresh polls in the affected 25 local government areas. Mary Chinda, Arise News.
And what do people in River State think of the truce? In the capital, Port Harcourt, some residents are calling on Governor Fubara to explain via a state broadcast why he agreed to the deal. They say the resolutions are counterproductive to the interests of the people. Correspondent Andy Omano reports.
The content of the peace accord brokered by President Bola Tinubu between FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and Governor Siminalayi Fubara has continued to receive knocks. Many say it's sharply against the dictates of the 1999 Constitution as amended, as it reduces the executive powers of the governor.
We are operating a constitutional system within a democratic system, and all the traditions and principles of democracy and constitutionalism must readily apply. The governor of a state cannot be subservient to any other authority apart from the people. I doubt if he had the consent and authority of the people to endorse on such document.
The document is not implementable, and it is not also fair to all concerned. It is not fair to the sitting governor. And of course, it is not the great path to peace in Rivers State. The document is going to raise more dust in Rivers State, because when you look at the document, you could see that the interests of a sitting governor recognized by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is not protected in that document.
For Niger Delta activist and member of the Rivers State Elders and Leaders Forum, Ankyo Briggs, Governor Fubara should take his case to the Rivers people instead, describing the peace accord as a coup against.
That intervention we called him to undertake did not include him setting aside the Constitution of Nigeria. It did not include him interfering with the process of governance in a state, which he himself would never have accepted in his own state when he was governor. We wanted him to broker lasting peace, to talk, if you like, to talk sense into the system that Sim Fubara have found himself in.
But some say the signing of the peace accord would not reduce the support base of Governor Fubara.
No, the appending of a signature to that document is not going to affect the support base, but the implementation of that document is going to affect the support base, because all those who are supporting him, I've sampled the opinion of people. A lot of people are not in tune with him implementing that document. I know quite well that he who wears the shoes knows where impeaches him.
Let nobody make any mistake, therefore, that this in any way diminishes the sympathy and support that Rivers people have for Sim Fubara. As a matter of fact, we actually see a picture where Sim Fubara was invited to Abuja, cornered into Abuja, and seemingly the picture is that a gun was put to his head to sign the document. I mean, that literally that was not what happened, but that is what it seems like.
Ogushe, a legal practitioner, suggests what Governor Fubara should do to survive the political tightrope he is presently walking.
If he had endorsed this document, he can revoke it. If he doesn't revoke it, the law on non est factum applies in his favor, that it is not my deed, to the extent that a governor could not have ordinarily endorsed that document. It could be under some bit of a siege.
Some of the resolution of the 8 points peace accord, which many described as contentious and gagging, are withdrawal of all court cases instituted by the faction loyal to Mr. Governor, freedom of the 26 legislators to hold their plenary anywhere, representation of the 2024 Rivers State budget to all members of the State Assembly, reabsorbing of all 9 commissioners who voluntarily resigned their appointment. Already, the thinking around Port Harcourt City is that rather than ensure peace, the accord brokered by President Tinubu may further heighten tension in the state. From Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital, Andy Omano, Arise News.
We're now joined by Arise correspondent in River State, Andy Omano. Good morning, Andy, and thanks for joining us today.
Good morning, Ayo.
Excellent. Now, thanks for that report. I must say that I was curious as to what Anne Kilbrigg said, where she talked about the fact that there were suspicions around the fact that Governor Simi Fubara didn't sign that communique of his own, perhaps shall we say free will. He was put on a duress. Is this the general feeling of people in River State in terms of that particular notion?
Okay, thank you so much, Ayo. That's not the entire Rivers people, but a good number of people are running with that kind of position. That because according to them, they are taken aback that the Mr. Governor, whom the Rivers people, a good number of Rivers people have risen in defense in the past couple of weeks, would sit down and append his signature to that 8-point agreement as it is start. And so that is what the thinking is here among so many people, that could the governor have signed that particular piece of agreement under duress, more so when that happened in the seat of power, or he was because if you look at, according to our respondents yesterday too, if you look at the configuration of people who attended that particular meeting, the representatives, those who were with the governor, were not as much as what we have on the other side, according to them. So it's all these that they are putting into, into question. And that may have been responsible for the thinking that it's possible the governor, but as we speak, up until this morning, Ayo, the governor has not come out to say whether he signed or he did not actually sign. But the thinking here is very likely that the governor may have done the signing of that document under duress, as it were.
When you say under duress, are you suggesting that it was forced? Because I saw Mr. Uguche there saying he can plead, it's not my deed, non ex factum. But people have advised him to come forward and explain what actually happened. The governor spoke yesterday at the Pamo University of Medical Sciences, and he said no sacrifice is too much to be made in order to have peace. Now, what meaning can we read to that? He seems to be pleased with it. And on that paper that was, that has been advertised as the agreement that was reached, I thought I saw Governor Rivers there, even Deputy Governor Rivers on that paper. So, do you have any information as to whether or not he will really come forward and tell us the exact kind of sacrifice that he wants to make? Because it's not enough to just say he's ready to make any sacrifice. What kind of sacrifice is he going to make? Because it looks like some people are crying more than they believed in River State.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Abati. Do I have any information if the governor in the next couple of days is going to come out to explain what actually happened in that meeting brokered by Mr. President there, the State House, Abuja? For now, there is no information to that. But I think that is what almost everyone who is following this political development in Rivers State is asking for. That why not come out and let the Rivers people know what actually transpired in that meeting? Yes, the governor did say there is no sacrifice that is too much for him to make in order to ensure that there is peace in Rivers State. Yes, as the chief security officer of the state, I did expect less from him. But like you also rightly pointed out, he needed to come out and explain what actually transpired. Because, when situation comes to a head like this and explanation has not made as to what actually happened, people are given to trying to give different interpretation to the key issue that is at hand. And that is what many here in Port Harcourt City are asking for. Can the governor kind of do a state broadcast, so to say, in order to carry people? Even as at yesterday, many had said, look, if the governor had gone ahead to append his signature to this, some describe it as a suicide mission. Others describe it as something that the governor, whether he is sleepy, should not even have appended his signature. So in order to douse this misconception or whatever, the governor needed to come out. But for now, we haven't heard anything if the governor is going to do that. But no one can say no until the die is cast. So it's possible, because a lot of consultations, Dr. Abati, are going on concerning this piece of information, or rather this agreement, this peace pact, I should call it, that was entered into in Abuja day before yesterday night. And so many are saying, no, Governor, you need to talk to us. We need to really put a hand on what is your position. If you did append your signature, as we are seeing in that 2-page paper, come to explain to the Rivers people.
Okay. Andy, from all the signatures I can see from the document here, I'd like to ask questions. Number one, why was it slanted towards people that had some level of loyalty to Wike? Professor Ngozi Odu, Deputy Governor, a signature was there. Right Honorable Martin Eke Amaule, Speaker, Real State House of Assembly, signature was there. The pro-Wike Speaker. Why wasn't a here in that meeting, or why is the signature not there? Chief Tony Okocha, Chairman APC Rivers, Aaron Chukwuemeka, PDP Chairman, Rivers State, Ayisom Wike. And then the governor, similarly, Fubara, his signature was at the top. Some people signed, some people didn't sign. The question is, if they were making an agreement, why was there not a balancing of the two factions of the House, a year being there? Why was it only Right Honorable Martins Amaole that was there? Secondly, have we been able to hear from the likes of Aaron Chukwuemeka, PDP Chairman Rivers, as regards what happened, or Chief Tony Okocha as regards what happened, or probably, I know she might not be able to talk in this, Professor Ngozi Odu, the Deputy Governor of Rivers State, as regards what happened?
Okay, thank you so much, Rufai. I think how come that the representation was tilted to the favor of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory? I think that's a question that the convener of that peace pact, that is Mr. President himself or his handlers, should be able to answer. As a reporter who is on the turf here in Port Harcourt, the River State capital, I will not be able to put a finger on that. But what the rumors being peddled around here is that it may have been influenced by the FCT minister because of his closeness to Mr. President. But that is still in the realm of conjecture. Whether that actually happened, nobody can really say. Then why was Edison Ehie, who is the court-recognized Speaker of the River State House of Assembly, not in that meeting or did not append his signature? Back here in River State, Port Harcourt to be precise, as at yesterday, it was a very heated argument. Some said that he was actually there, but it's just that he wasn't among those who were expected to append their signatures. Why are they not talking? Well, since they returned from Abuja 2 days ago, many of those who attended that peace pact have maintained sealed lips, I must say. We tried to get to the acting chairman of the River State chapter of the PDP. He's been very elusive. Mr. Tony Okocha, we've not been able to also get across. So probably there is an agreement, probably from platform of their political party, not to say anything for now. But as reporters who would always want to push on in order to get scoop, if I'm allowed to use that expression, today we still want to make effort to make sure that one or two of them does speak. But for the deputy governor, no, that's a no-go area. She is not disposed to talking. Neither is the governor disposed to talking. But the Rivers people are saying, you need to address us. Let's actually know what transpired in that peace pact brokered by Mr. President, especially with the conditions that are embedded in that eight items peace pact. Rufai.
All right, thank you, Andy. I have a few questions around the legality of the resolutions from that meeting and also the response by the Rivers elders who have condemned, well, shall I say, the resolutions from that meeting. One other area, I'd like you to perhaps share what is your thought on that. And then the fact that there's a question around the 27 lawmakers who have defected and have been said in that resolution that they would be recognized. Under which party would they be recognized? So are they substantially now APC members who would now come into the House as APC members? Or is it going back to status quo and the PDP? Even though PDP have said that I don't know if they'll be willing to accept them back into the party. But I'd like you to speak to the Elders Forum's resolution from their own meeting, rejecting and condemning the resolution because of some illegalities in the resolution. And of course, those lawmakers, are they going to remain in the APC or perhaps defect back to the PDP?
Okay, Ayo, first of all, the elders have stated it very, very clear that, look, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999, as amended, is the ground norm. And anything that you do as a Nigerian, whether as an individual, a government, or an institution, must be subjected to the test of that particular constitution. And I think that is their position. More so when Mr. President, according to them, is a democratically elected president. And so that was their worry yesterday, that what Mr. President has done shouldn't have happened in the first place. Because Mr. President has said, look, whether there is a court order describing the opposite, talking about the opposite, that should not hold water. What had happened is the 26 lawmakers should be recognized, and whatever decision the Edison Ehe faction to this crisis has taken, i.e. the passage of the 2024 River State budget, then to declaration of the seats of the 26 lawmakers vacant, should turn to status quo. That's the position of the elders. They fought that very vehemently. And what touched so many of us who were privy to that emergency meeting of yesterday was these elders calling on the entire Rivers people to rise up and defend their state. It does seem to many as if the state is astray, as it were. And if the state is astray, momentarily without necessarily conceding, I had expected that it is the elders who will bring back the state to that right course. But they are calling on the entire Rivers people, an indication of the fact that they have pushed it to a level where it does seem like as if nothing seems to be working the way they expected it. But of course, they've called on Mr. President very, very, very directly that whatever decision the president had asked the two warring factions to abide by can never hold water, because Nigeria operates a constitutional, a democratic government. And whatever anybody is doing, there should be clear-cut separation of power. The president that represented the executive should not wade into that which is in the purview of the judiciary. Neither should he do that to the legislation. So I think your second question that has to do with on what platform are the 26 lawmakers going to play now that the agreement has said we should go back. I think it's going to be the All Progressives Congress, because it was not stated there that these lawmakers are returning to their original party, which they have vacated, leading to a faction to this crisis led by Edison Ehe declaring their seats vacant. And the question many are asking here is, why was that decision not embedded in this piece of document that was signed? Because if commissioners are to be reinstalled, if the 2024 budget of the state needed to be represented to the entire House and debated before it's being passed into law, and other positions that they expect the governor to reverse himself, then this should also follow. These are questions that people are raising here. But in the next couple of days, we will see if answers will be found to these questions that are already being raised here. Ayo.
All right, thank you so much, Adley.